Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
Joining us now at the conference on site is Katie Fogertey, Chief Financial Officer of Shack. Katie, thanks so much for joining us here. Love to get a sense of, everybody's talking about tariffs and what it might do to economic growth, what it might do to the consumer. Who is the consumer at Shake Shack, and what is that consumer telling you these days?
Great. So, who we think of as our consumer, we have, went out there and we have this amazing real estate strategy. And what we've done is we've put these great community gathering places in a lot of these, great communities. And where we have attracted is just really kind of more of a, I would say, more a middle income to higher income guest. And we've seen that guest be able to weather a lot more of the economic headwinds than than the low income consumer has been facing. And, what we continue to see is by leaning into our strength, which is delivering a fine casual experience. So we think about kind of bringing all those great guts of fine dining, elevated food, premium ingredients, doing the things that, other, fast casual and QSR just are not willing to do, putting that in an amazing hospitable environment and getting great guest service. That together has been a winning formula to help us outpunch what has been, some consumer headwinds that has been facing the industry. And we are going to continue to lean into that. It's helping us to differentiate and kind of pull apart from the pack. And it's been our strength.
Where are our samples?
I know.
I mean, what is this about? Who doesn't want a burger at 10 a.m. on a Wednesday?
We're getting close to open. So.
Okay. So who are your competitors then?
Yeah.
So if you're a middle and high-end consumer, who would you say is a competitor?
Yeah, I mean, we sell burgers, shakes, fries. I think the best chicken sandwich out there in the business. We view our competitors as being, anybody who, you might consider having lunch at or dinner at. So that is a pretty wide array. And it also can be, food at home. I mean, that can also be an area where you would have some share of stomach. So, for the vast amount of, of our restaurants out there, we are competing with a lot of people. Now, we are differentiated and we are kind of in that category of one in the fine casual sector. But at the same time, we know that, people have lots of different options where they can go out to eat.
Katie, there's a lot of concern out there about inflation. If inflation were to come into your business, where would you see it, and how do you plan for that?
So we actually have been navigating through inflationary pressures for a number of years here, and doing so quite successfully. I'll say, we've had wage inflationary pressures. In COVID, it was actually very hard to get restaurant talent in our restaurants to staff and to deliver our food. It was not a desirable job at the time, and we raised wages and had a very competitive and compelling opportunity for our team members. We also introduced tips as a way to compensate our team members as well and give them added benefit. And then last year with California Fast Food Wage Act, we faced through that as well. We've also had on the food side, inflationary pressures that we've been navigating for a number of years as well. But through all of this, through leaning in on our strength, which is, again, delivering that elevated, experience to guests, giving them that, $25, black truffle burger that we are actually selling for $10 and giving them that great value on that side, we've been able to both grow sales and grow margins at a faster pace. Just even last year, we expanded our margins in the fourth quarter by 300 basis points.
So I've never had Shake Shack, but I know, but it looks like I may be able to now in Delta.
Yes.
So, and this really also goes to your expansion plan. So Delta's going to offer Shake Shack burgers on additional domestic routes this year, and that could expand international flights next year. Talk about these expansion kind of plans.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at Delta at its core and what this does, this is an opportunity where we're able to surprise and delight our guests. Give them that thing that they weren't really expecting. You have your expectation for what airline food is like. And, this opportunity to get a Shake Shack burger and our great, we have a special brownie that we've made for Delta as well through this program. People are just absolutely elated at the opportunity to have that on their flights. And so much so that it's exceeded our internal expectations. We're rolling it out to more airports. You're going to be able to get it, New York, Atlanta, a number of airports, and that will just, probably continue to grow. And, if you look at that opportunity, and I can make so many different parallels to how we've gone into an area where the consumer had a certain expectation, and we just really raised the bar on it and outpunched above our weight, and transformed what people were expecting from, it's airline food, if it's roadside food, and across the board.
Katie, in terms of growth, how many locations do you have today, and what's your outlook for the next year or two?
Yeah, we have, across both our company-operated and our licensed business, we're, about 550, 570 locations, but we are growing very fast. We're going to add another 45 domestic company-operated Shacks this year, and we're going to open about 35 to 40 licensed Shacks as well. Those licensed Shacks are ones that that our partners operate. We have locations in the U.S., but most of that is kind of outside of the U.S. in Asia, and we have UK, the Middle East, Mexico, and most recently we opened up in Canada.
Well, great stuff. We really appreciate it. We know you got to run, Katie. Thank you very much. Next time snacks. Katie Fogertey, Chief Financial Officer at Shake Shack.